And welcome. It is me, Brandy Rose Smith, live in the Forbidden Library, again, in my 2D form on a Sunday. Which is weird, I know, it's a little weird, but I logged in to VR chat to go set up cameras and everything. We were going to have a nice bonfire tonight, that was the plan. And then VR chat went down. I don't know when it'll be back up. I'm going to keep an eye on the servers. But, who the fudge car? Who did... I got distracted. I know, it's different! You can blame the servers. Apparently they're having API issues. Hello, hello, Nimby. Hello, Normal Size Phantom. Welcome, 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 welcome. We will still have our normal, our regularly scheduled reading time. I just won't be running around like a mad lad, or we won't be in a nice underground train. I could add some sparkles, though. We need something moving on the screen for, like, my sanity more than anything. Fleas into the woods, screaming, burning all my clothes. Who are you, Tristan? Get back here! Sparkles! Hey! There we go. We got some sparkles. Let's get that behind the book at least. Ah! That's true. You can spin me. And I have more room to be in weird angles on the screen. So this is not a terrible thing. Hello, Dread Excalibur. Welcome. We are gonna read about Mr. Galahad and how perfect he is. 'Cause he's Mr. Perfect Galahad who could do all the perfect things and everyone's like Mr. Galahad. You're the most perfect man ever and you've done absolutely nothing to earn it. He did. He just existed and they're like, this boy is the most perfect boy on the planet. Oh, and he happens to be your son, Lancelot, that you didn't even know you had. So silly. Yep, we're back in space, back in a natural habitat, while we read about Galahad and his most perfect perfectness, in most perfect of town. When the White Knight had thus spoken, he vanished suddenly away, and Sir Galahad returned to the abbey, with his magical amazing shield that used to belong to, like, Joseph of Arimathea, because he's so cool and that's why he's... Guessing there will be at least 2 sus scenes and something about thrusting their sword. Thrusting their lances, I believe, not thrusting their swords. Most likely, though, there will be at least 2 or 3 sus scenes and some thrusting. Some smoting, most likely. Very much so, some smoting. And hours of grueling and sweaty combat. As he alighted, came a monk, and prayed him go see a tomb in the churchyard, wherefrom came such a great and hideous noise, that none could hear it, but they went nigh mad, or lost all strength. And, sir, said he, I deem it is a fiend. A demon? Galahad and his stupid perfect face and his stupid white teeth and his stupid perfectly coiffed hair. He's a white-haired anime boy too in Fate, which is terrible because I love white-haired anime boys. So he is perfect! Ah! He's either a cute kohai with glass... No, technically he's been a girl twice. Because for some reason, whenever he, like, matches with a girl, he possesses them in both cases of his appearances. He's, like, possessed a person. It's so weird. Galahad's a weirdo. Anyway. Lead me hither, said Sir Galahad. Oh, yeah, I was still voicing him like a young lad. Lead me hither, said Sir Galahad. When they were come near the place, "Now," said the monk, "go thou to the tomb and lift it up." And Galahad, nothing afraid, quickly lifted up the stone, and forthwith came out a foul smoke. And from the midst thereof leaped up the loathliest figure that ever he had seen in the likeness of man. And Galahad blessed himself, for he knew it was a fiend of hell. Then he heard a voice crying out, "Oh, Galahad, I cannot tear..." Ah! Fucking rude. Nice to see you too, Boris. Now I'm above the book. We can't be doing this. I need to be behind the book. I can't block the words. That's just a wood. I don't need that at the moment. Where am I? Model. Yeah, that's me. Okay. Behind the book. Behind the book. There we go! Okay. The book looks like a very strange sensor. If I'm like here... Yeah, no, I don't want that. Galahad! Indubitably, we are reading about Galahad. Kai, welcome. Cage 231. So I don't think that's how consent works. If you just shrug and become the girl. It is not. I cannot tear thee as I would. I see so many angels round thee, that I may not covet thee. You're so perfect, even the angels are protecting you, Sir Galahad. You're just too perfect that not even a literal demon like me can attack you. He's just so perfect. Then the fiend suddenly disappeared with a marvellous great cry, and Sir Galahad, looking in the tomb, saw there a body all armed, with a sword beside it. "Now, fair brother," said he to the monk, "let us remove this cursed body, which is not fit to lie in a churchyard, for when it lived, a false and perjured Christian man dwelt in it. Cast it away, and there shall come no more hideous noises from the tomb. And now I must depart. I have done my bidding by standing there and looking so awe-struckingly beautiful that a literal demon ran away. My job here is done." I know many of these stories have been silly, but this is like top tier silly. He added, "For I have much in hand, and am upon the holy quest for the Sangreal, with many more good knights." So he took his leave and rode many journeys backwards and forwards, as adventure would lead him, and at last one day he departed from a castle without first hearing mass, which was it ever his custom to hear before he left his lodgings. Anon he found a ruined chapel on a mountain, and went in and kneeled before the altar, and prayed for wholesome counsel what to do. And as he prayed he heard a voice which said, "Depart, adventurous knight, unto the maiden's castle, and redress the violence and wrongs done there." He's God's special feckin' boy. He really is God's special baby boy. I think this goes past plot armor. Even a Mary Sue would have trouble getting anywhere near the sheer aura they have. They really were. It's so funny. Hearing these words, he cheerfully arose and mounted his horse, and rode but half a mile, when he saw before him a strong castle, with deep ditches round it, and a fair river running past. And seeing an old church hard by, he asked him what men called that castle. "Fair sir," said he, "it is the Maiden's Castle. We don't have another word for it. It's just the Maiden's Castle. Well, there's a lady who lives there, and she's a maiden, so we call it the Maiden's Castle." "It is a cursed place," said Galahad. "Oh yeah, it is a cursed place," said Galahad, and all its masters are but felons full of mischief and hardness and shame. For that good reason, said the old man, thou wert well advised to turn thee back. For that same reason, quoth Galahad, I will more certainly ride on. Then, looking at his armour carefully to see that nothing failed him, he went forward, and presently there met 7 damsels, who cried out, Sir Knight, thou ridest in great peril, for thou hast 2 waters to pass over. Oh my, not the waters. The watery waters with the watery wenches who give out the swords. Maybe. Probably. He's already got a sword from a river. He doesn't need 2. I know he does get another one some point, but... Nameless antagonists fear him. Writer self-insert protagonist want to be. Is that the Maiden's Castle? Nah, it's Iron Maiden's Castle. Number of the Beast playing in the distance. Anon he met a squire who... Why should I not pass over them? Why should I not pass over them? I'm not going to be able to maintain that voice because I'm going to forget every time. If Kirito can dual wield, then so can our special boy. Our special boy. That's true. Nothing is beyond our special boy. God's favourite prince. Said he, and rode straight on. Anon he met a squire, who said, Sir Knight, the masters of this castle defy thee, and bid thee go no further, till thou showest them thy business here. Fair fellow, said Sir Galahad, I am come here to destroy their wicked customs. If that be thy purpose, answered he, thou wilt have much to do. Go thou, said Galahad, and hasten with my message. A few minutes after rode forth furiously from the gateways of this castle 7 knights, all brothers, crying out, Knight, keep thee! Bore down all at once upon Sir Galahad. But thrusting forth his spear, he smote the foremost to the earth, so that his neck was almost broken, and warded with his shield the spears of all the others, which every one brake off from it, and shivered. They shivered, right? Shivered, yeah. Shivered into pieces. Then he drew out his sword, and set upon them hard and fiercely, and by his wondrous force drave before them, and chased them to the castle gate, and there he slew them, making quick work of 7 men. At that came out to him an ancient man, in priest's vestments, saying, Behold, sir, here, the key... So 7 guys came out. He just murdered 7 guys, and then a dude comes out and goes, hey, here's the keys. The what? Here, the keys of this castle. Then he unlocked the gates, and found within a multitude of people who cried out, Sir Knight, ye be welcome, for long have we awaited thy deliverance, and told him that the 7 felons that he had slain had long enslaved the people round about, and killed all knights who passed that way, because the maiden whom they had robbed of the castle had foretold that by one night they themselves shall be overthrown. Walks in, takes on 7 men at once, then is given the house for free. Yeah, and there's a maiden to go deal with. Where is the maiden? Asked Sir Galahad. Sir Galahad the Pure, might I add. He's known for his purity, so will he bone down? I don't know. She lingereth below in a dungeon, they say. So, Sir Galahad went down and released her, and restored her her inheritance. And when he had summoned the barons of the country to do her homage, he took his leave and departed. Well, she didn't even get a name. She didn't get a line. He was just like, cool, I'm done here. Adventure's done. Next. Presently thereafter, as he rode, he entered a great forest, and in a glade therefore met 2 knights disguised, who proffered him to joust. These were Sir Lancelot his father, and Sir Percival, but neither knew the other. And so he and Sir Lancelot encountered first, and Sir Galahad smote down his father. Then drawing his sword, for his spear was broken, he fought with Sir Percival, and struck so mightily that he clave Sir Percival's helm, and smote him from his horse. And we're going to make no pomp and circumstance about him beating Lancelot, who has, until now, absolutely been the bestest knightist in all the worldist until now. I mean, maybe not, but he has angels on his side, pros even angels. When they do take a tumble, it would not be shocking. It just gets ignored. True. I was gonna joke, but then everyone stood up and clapped for you, Galahad, but then you read it. I know! It's true! They did stand up and clap. They all basically did! Get smoted, mofo. Definitely need to make that like a thing. Before we do a boss and a thing. Get smoted, king! Now hard by where they fought, there was a hermitage, where dwelt a pious woman, a recluse, who, when she heard the sound, came forth, and seeing Sir Galahad ride, she cried, God be with thee, the best knight in all the world. Had yonder knights known thee as well as I do, they would not have encountered thee, because you're just so cool. Oh my god. Get smoted, loser. Galahad, probably. Galahad's a dick. Galahad's not a dick, but the way the entire universe revolves around him now is hilarious. I prefer Tristan's story. I can't talk since Galahad's in my book, but shut up. When Sir Galahad heard that, fearing to be made known, he forthwith smote his horse with spurs and departed at great pace. Sir Lancelot and Sir Percival heard her words also, and rode fast after him, but within a while he was out of their sight. Then Sir Percival rode back to ask his name of the recluse, but Sir Lancelot went forward on his quest, following any path his horse would take. He came by and by, after nightfall, to a stone cross hard by an ancient chapel. When he had alighted and tied his horse up to a tree, he went and looked through the chapel door, which was all ruinous and wasted, and there within he saw an altar, richly decked with silk, whereupon there stood a fair candlestick of silver, bearing 6 great lights. And when Sir Lancelot saw the light, he tried to get within the chapel, but he could find no place. So began passing wearily and heavy, he came again to his horse, and when he had unsaddled him, and set him free to pasture, he unlaced his helm, and ungirdled his sword, and laid down to sleep upon his shield before the cross. Lancelot, every time you go for a nap outside, you tend to get ambushed. This is not good. I ran into Galahad once, and when I was on my way, I was wearing a Galahad is my Oshi t-shirt. I had no memory of getting... Yes! This is the Galahad effect! King Arthur? Nah, don't know him. This is God's special boy story. Like, I knew that the King Arthur stories were basically just a bunch of people who kept adding their OCs to one universe. Oh, yeah. And I'm in the middle of the screen. Anyway, sorry, got distracted for 2 seconds. But this is so much worse than I thought it actually was. With that, and while he lay between waking and sleeping, he saw come by him 2 white palfreys, bearing a litter, wherein a sick knight lay, and the palfreys stood still by the cross. When Sir Lancelot heard the sick man say, "O sweet lord, when shall this sorrow leave me, and the holy vessel pass by me, where thou I shall be blessed, for I have long endured." With that Sir Lancelot saw the chapel open, and the candlestick with the 6 tapers come from the cross, but he could see none who bare it. Then came there also a table of silver, and thereon the holy vessel of the Sangreal. And when the sick knight saw that, he sat up, and lifting both hands said, "Fair lord, sweet lord, who art here with this holy vessel, have mercy on me, that I may be whole." And therewith he crept upon his hands and knees so nigh, that he might touch the vessel. And when he had kissed it, he leapt up, and stood and cried aloud, "Lord God, I thank thee, for I am made whole." Then the Holy Grail departed, with the table and the silver candlestick, into the chapel, so that Sir Lancelot saw it no more, nor for his sins' sake could he follow it. And the knight who was healed went on his way. This is my OC, Sir Galahad. Do not steal. He is the best. He is the strongest and most powerful knight in all the world. And he is Lancelot's son. And because Lancelot was the strongest, and obviously his son is better, and he is chosen by God, and the angels follow him around, and that means the fiends can't even touch him anymore because he's so good and pure and amazing. And he smoted down his dad without even breaking a sweat, and he took on like 7 knights once, and he got given a castle, but he just gave the castle back to the owner because he's really good and pure and amazing. They are the truest main editor self-insert. It hurts. I can't imagine the small arguments about who is the real best knight TM. Just tossing in some stories that the rest didn't know. That's exactly what this is. That a lot of this was, again, sort of campfire stories before we really put things to paper, which is why there's a lot of like argument between Percival and Galahad, and who was the one who actually got the Grail, etc. Sir Galahad, but as a knight girl, if we were mooses, we could do it with horses. We could do it with them. I mean, Fate's already done it a lot. Although, admittedly, they did not gender bend Galahad, and that is a shame. They should have. There'll be a female Galahad out there somewhere. I said Galahad's possessed of female characters in Fate, but Galahad himself hasn't been a lady. Then Sir Lancelot awake and marvelled whether he had seen aught but a dream. And as he marvelled, he heard a voice saying, "Sir Lancelot, thou art unworthy. Go thou hence and withdraw thee from this holy place." And when he heard that, he was passing heavy, for he bethought him of his sins. So he departed weeping, and cursed the day of his birth, for the words went into his heart, and he knew wherefore he was thus driven forth. When he went to seek his arms and horse, but he could not find them. And then he called himself the wretchedest, most unhappy of all knights, and said, "My sin hath brought me unto great dishonour, for when I sought earthly honours, I achieved them ever, but now I take upon me holy things, My guilt doth hinder me, and shameth me. Therefore had I no power to stir or speak, when the holy blood appeared before me. So thus he sorrowed till it was day, and he heard the birds sing. Then was he somewhat comforted, and departing from the cross on foot, he came into a wild forest, and to a high mountain, and there he found a hermitage, and kneeling before the hermit, down upon both his knees, he cried for mercy for his wicked works, and prayed him to hear his confession. But when he told his name, the hermit marvelled to see him so sore a case, and said, Sir, ye ought to thank God more than any knight living, for he hath given thee more honour than any. Yet for thy presumption, while in a deadly sin, to come into the presence of his flesh and blood, he suffered thee neither to see nor follow it. Wherefore believe, and all thy strength and manhood will avail thee little, when God is against thee. Sorry, Lancelot, you're not God's favourite. You can't see the Grail. Bye. You are but the father of God's special boy, not actually God's special boy. Sir, this is a ye old Wendy. I want to see the story of the most unhappy of all Knight's story. Oh, the teenage angst would be lovely. When Sir Lancelot wept and said, I know, I well ye tell me truth. And he confessed to him, and told him all his sins, how he had for 14 years served but Queen Guinevere only, and had forgotten God, and done great deeds of arms for her, and not for heaven, and had little or nothing thanked God for the honour that he won. And then Sir Lancelot said, I pray you counsel me. I've been simping for my wife, for my friend's wife, for years now. Years! And I still managed to have a child with another woman somewhere that I didn't even know about. But I've been simping. If you simp too hard, you can't get the Holy Grail. This is the word. This is what we're finding out. Also on Twitch. I'm not sure I'm allowed to say that. Please don't report me. Thank you. I just wanted my wife. I mean my friend's wife. Oh, Lancey Poo. He confessed to him, I will counsel thee, said he, never more enter into that queen's company when ye can avoid it. Simping Twitch mods are hunting down as we speak. Please no, it was necessary. It was a necessary word to describe the situation. So Sir Lancelot promised him, look at your heart, and your mouth accord, said the good man, and ye shall have more honour and more nobleness than ever ye have had. Then were his arms and horse restored to him, and so he took his leave and rode forth, repenting greatly. Now Sir Percival had ridden back to the recluse to learn who that knight was whom she had called the best in all the world. And when he told her that he was Sir Percival, she made passing great joy of him, for she was his mother's sister, wherefore she opened her door to him and made him good cheer. And on the morrow she told him of her kindred to him, and they both made great rejoicing. When he asked her who that knight was, and she told him, he it is who on Whit Sunday last was clad in the red robe, and bare the red arms, and he hath no peer, for he worketh all by miracle, and shall be never overcome by earthly hands, nor demonic, by the sounds of it, but that's not the point. By my goodwill, said Sir Percival, I will never, after these tidings, have to do with Sir Galahad, but in the way of kindness, and I would fain learn where I may find him. Fair nephew, said she, ye must ride to the castle of Goth, where he hath a cousin. By him ye may be lodged, and he will teach you the way to go. But if he can tell you no tidings, ride straight to the castle of Caerbank, where the wounded king is lying, for there shall ye surely hear true tidings of him. So Sir Percival departed from his aunt, and rode till evening song time, when he was aware of a monastery closed round with walls and deep ditches, where he knocked at the gate, and anon was let in, and there he had good cheer that night, and on the morrow heard mass, and beside the altar where the priest stood was a rich bed of silk and cloth of gold, and on the bed there lay a man passing old, having a crown of gold upon his head, and all his body was full of great wounds, and his eyes almost wholly blind, and ever he held up his hands and said, Sweet Lord, forgive me, forget not me. Then Sir Percival asked one of his brethren who he was. Sir, said the good man, ye have heard of Joseph of Arimathea, how he was sent of Jesus Christ into the land to preach and teach the Christian faith. Now in the city of Sarras he coveted a king named Everlake, and this is he. He came with Joseph to this land, and ever desired greatly to see the Sangreal. So on a time he came thither hereto, and was struck almost blind. He cried out for mercy, and said, Fair Lord, I pray thee, let me never die until a good knight of my blood achieve the Sangreal, and I may see and kiss him. When he had thus prayed, he heard a voice that said, Thy prayers be heard and answered, for thou shalt not die till that knight kiss thee, and when he cometh, shall thine eyes be opened, and thy wounds be healed. And now hath he lived here for 300 winters in a holy life, and men say a certain knight of King Arthur's court shall shortly heal him. Terrifying. Angelic, demonic, earthen, sunken, gods or even maidens' hands will not touch our boy, the underpaid writer deems itself. Yes. Joseph Joestar of Arimathea, yes, we know. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Joseph of Arimathea was in fact a JoJo. That would make sense. From King Arthur's court, he answered. Then they all cried together, Slay him! Oh, I missed a bit. Thereat Sir Percival marvelled greatly, and he well knew who that knight should be, and so, taking his leave of the monk, departed. Then he rode on till noon, and came into a valley, where he met 20 men-at-arms bearing a dead knight on a stick, and cried to him, Whence thou cometh? From King Arthur's court. Slay him! They all cried, and set upon him. But he smote down the first man to the ground, and his horse upon him, whereat 7 of them all at once assailed him, and others slew his horse. Thus he had been either taken or slain, but by good chance Sir Galahad was passing by that way, who, seeing 20 men attacking one, cried, Slay him not! And rushed upon them, and as fast as his horse could drive, he encountered with the foremost man and smote him down. Then his spear being broken, he drew forth his sword and stuck out on the right hand, on the left, at each blow smiting down a man, till the remainder fled, and he pursued them. Then Sir Percival, knowing that it was Sir Galahad, would fain have overtaken him, but could not, for his horse was slain. Yet followed he on foot as fast as he could go, and as he went there, met him a yeoman riding on a palfrey, and leading in his hand a great black steed. So Sir Percival prayed him to lend him the steed, that he might overtake Sir Galahad, but he replied, "That can I not do, fair sir, for the horse is my master's, and should I lend it, he would slay me." So he departed, and Sir Percival sat down beneath a tree in heaviness of heart. And as he sat, anon a knight went riding past on the black steed which the yeoman had led. And presently after came the yeoman back in haste, and asked Sir Percival if he had seen a knight riding his horse. "Yea," said Sir Percival. "Alas," said the yeoman, "he hath rift him from my strength, and my master will slay me." Then he besought Sir Percival to take his hackney and follow, and get back his steed. So he rode quickly, overtook the knight, and cried, "Knight, turn again!" Whereat he turned, and set his spear, and smote Sir Percival's hackney in the breast, so that it fell dead, and then went on his way. Then cried Sir Percival after him, "Turn now, false knight, and fight me on foot." But he would not, and rode out of sight. Then was Sir Percival passing wroth and heavy heart, and lay down to rest beneath a tree, and slept till midnight. When he awoke, he saw a woman standing by him, who said to him right fiercely, "Sir Percival, what dost thou here?" How far Sir Percy has fallen. I know! Good thing I just happened to pass by, so that I, Sir Galahad, can save you! Totally didn't hide them, and then smote them down to avoid paying the fee. Just to make himself look good. Just to make himself look good. VR chat is still down, doo-da, doo-da. VR chat is still down, all the doo-da-dee. "I do neither good nor evil," said he. "If thou wilt promise me," said she, "to do my will whenever I shall ask thee, I will bring thee here a horse that will bear thee wheresoever thou desirest." At that he was full glad, and "If you do whatever I say whenever I want, I'll get you a horse." Slavery for a horse? Heck yeah, pretty woman wouldn't lie to me. Can't believe VR chat is down. How's Brownie gonna get steps in? I know, right? I'm gonna get fat. Exactly. It's so boring in comparison to the VR chat one. I would have my other tracker up, but I kind of stopped paying for the other tracker because VR chat was right there and it made sense at the time, but then VR chat died. Hopefully it's back at some point. Then anon she came again, with a great black steed, strong and well apparelled. So Sir Percival mounted and rode through the clear moonlight, and with less than an hour had gone by, a 4 days' journey, till he came to a rough water that roared, and his horse would have borne him into it, but Sir Percival would not suffer him, yet could he scarce restrain him. And seeing the water so furious, he made the sign of the cross upon his forehead, whereat the horse suddenly shook him off, and with a terrible sound leapt into the water and disappeared, the waves all burning up into flames around him. Then Sir Percival knew it was— Ah! You're a fiend! Bastard. Then Sir Percival knew it was a fiend which had brought him the horse. So he commended himself to God, and prayed that he might escape temptations, and continued in prayer until it was day. Then he saw that he was on a wild mountain, nigh surrounded on all sides by the sea, and filled with wild beasts, and going on into a valley, he saw a serpent carrying a young lion by the neck. Did we have lions in the UK once upon a time? I know we used to have big cats once upon a time, I'm pretty sure. But did we have lions? I don't know. With that came another lion, crying and roaring after the serpent, and anon overtook him, and began to battle him. And Sir Percival helped the lion, and drew his sword, and gave the serpent such a stroke that it fell dead. Thereat the lion fawned upon him like a dog, licking his hand and crouching at his feet, and at night lay down by him and slept at his side. And at noon the next day Sir Percival saw a ship coming and sailing before a strong wind upon the sea towards him, and he rose and went towards it, and when it came to shore, he found it covered with white samite, and on the deck where stood an old man dressed in priest's robes, who said, God be with you, fair sir, whence come ye? I am a knight of King Arthur's court, said he, and follow the quest for the Sangreal, but here I have lost myself in the wilderness. Fear not, said the old man, for I have come from a strange country to comfort thee. Then he told Sir Percival it was a fiend from hell upon which he had ridden to the sea, and that the lion, whom he had delivered from the serpent, meant the church. What? So he saved the church? What? And Sir Percival rejoiced at these tidings, and entered into the ship, which presently sailed from the shore into the sea. Did Percival take a small trip to, purgatory for a hot minute there? Is that what that meant? Now, when Bors rode forth from Camelot to seek the Sangreal, anon he met a holy man riding on an ass, and courteously saluted him. Who are you, son? Said the good man. I am a knight, said he, in quest of the Sangreal, and would fain have thy counsel, for he shall have much earthly honour who may bring it a favourable end. Nah, just super high on shrooms at the bar. That would make sense. That is truth, said the good man, for he shall be the best knight of the world. Yet know that none shall gain it save by sinless living. You mean you haven't taken a random trip to purgatory? Not yet. Maybe I should. Maybe I should book a holiday to purgatory. So as they rode to his hermitage together, and there he prayed Sir Bors to abide that night, and anon they went into the chapel, and Sir Bors was confessed, and they ate bread and drank water together. Now, said the hermit, I pray thee eat no other food till thou sit at the table where the Sangreal shall be. Thereto Sir Bors agreed. Also, said the hermit, it were wise that ye should wear a slack cloth garment next to your skin for perchance, pants. And in this also did Sir Bors, as he was counselled, and afterwards he armed himself, and took his leave. Then rode he onwards all that day, and as he rode he saw a passing great bird sit on an old dry tree, whereon no leaves were left, and many little birds lay around on the great one, nigh dead with hunger. But did the big bird smite himself on his own bill, and bled till died amongst his little ones, and they recovered life in drinking up his blood. When Sir Bors saw this, he knew it was a token, and rode on full of thought. And about eventide he came to a tower whereto he paid admission, and he was received gladly by the lady of the castle. But when a supper of many meats and dainties was set before him, he remembered his vow, and bade a squire to bring him water, and therein he dipped his bread in ale. Then said to the lady, Sir Bors, I fear ye like not my meat? Yea, truly, said he, God thank thee, madam, but I may eat no other meat this day. After supper came a squire, and said, Madam, bethink thee to provide a champion for thee tomorrow, for the tourney, or else shall thy sister have thy castle. There's no questioning about women owning castles here, and I appreciate that much. At that the lady wept and made great sorrow, but Sir Bors prayed her to be comforted, and asked her why the tournament was held. Then she told him how she and her sister were daughters of King Annie. Can't say it personally, but went on a roller coaster ride to Robot Hell last summer to escape the heat, but Purgatory, nah. There was that one bit in The Green Knight where Gawain ate some shrooms and such. The Green Knight movie was wild, especially compared to the book. Purgatory turns out to be whatever the UK equivalent to a cornfield in the middle of Ireland. Probably just a random forest. We have a lot of forests in the UK, and it's very easy to get lost in them. You get turned around real easy in a forest. Who left them all his lands between them, and how her sister was the wife of a strong knight, named Sir Pryden le Noir, who had taken from herself all her lands, save the one tower wherein she dwelt. And now, he said, this also will they take, unless I find a champion by tomorrow. Then Sir Bors, be comforted, tomorrow I will fight for thee. Whereat she rejoiced not a little, and sent word to Pryden that she was provided and ready. And when Sir Bors lay on the floor, and in no bed, nor ever would do otherwise till he had achieved his quest. On the morrow he arose and clothed himself, and went to the chapel, where the lady met him, and they heard mass together. Anon he called for his armour, and went with a goodly company of knights to the battle. And the lady prayed him to refresh himself ere he should fight, but he refused to break his fast until the tournament were done. So they rode together to the lists, and there they saw the lady's eldest sister and her husband, Sir Pryden le Noir. And a cry was made by the heralds that, whichever should win, his lady should have all the others' lands. Then the two knights departed asunder a little space, and came together with such force that both their spears were shivered, and their shields and hauberks pierced through, and both fell to the ground sorely wounded, with their horses under them. But swiftly they arose and drew their swords, and smote each other on the head with many great and heavy blows, till the blood ran down their bodies. And Sir Pryden was a full good knight, so that Bors had more ado than he had thought for to overcome him. But at last Sir Pryden grew a little faint, that instantly perceived Sir Bors, and rushed upon him the more vehemently, and smote him fiercely till he rent off his helm, and then gave him great strokes upon his visage, with the flat of his sword, and bade him yield to be slain. And then Sir Pryden cried him mercy, and said, For God's sake slay me not, and I will never war against thy lady more. So Sir Bors let him go, and his wife fled away with all her knights. Then all those who had held lands of the Lady of the Tower came and did homage to her again, and swore fealty. And when the country was at peace, Sir Bors departed, and rode forth into a forest until it was midday, and there befell him a marvellous adventure. For at a place where two ways parted, there met him two knights, bearing Sir Lionel, his brother, all naked, bound on a horse, as they rode. They beat him sorely with thorns, so that the blood trailed down in more than 100 places from his body. For all this he uttered no word or groan, so great he was of heart. As soon as Sir Bors knew his brother, he put his spear in rest to run and rescue him, but in the same moment heard a woman's voice cry close behind him in the woods, Saint Mary, succour thy maid! And looking round, he saw a damsel whom a felon knight dragged after him into the thickest, and she, perceiving him, cried piteously for help, and adjured him to deliver her, as he was a sworn knight. Then was Sir Bors sore troubled, and knew not what to do, for he thought within himself, If I let my brother be, he will be murdered. But if I help not the maid, she is shamed for ever, and my vow compelleth me to set her free. Wherefore I must help her, and trust my brother under God. Hydrate? Yeah, I will. Shut your mouth. How dare you tell me to look after myself? Shit. At that, the knight sat down. So, riding to the knight who held the damsel, he cried out, Sir Knight, lay your hand off that maiden, or else ye be but dead. At that, the knight set down the maid, and dropped his shield, and drew forth his sword against Sir Bors, who ran at him, and smote him through both shield and shoulder, and threw him to the earth. And when he pulled his spear forth, the great knight swooned. Then the maiden thanked Sir Bors heartily, and he set her on the knight's horse, and brought to her men at arms, who presently came riding after her. And they made much joy, and besought him to come to her father. There we go. A great lord, and he should be right welcome. But truly, he said, I may not this time, for I have a great adventure yet to do. And commending them to God, he departed in great haste to find his brother. So he rode, seeking him by the track of the horses a great while. Anon he met a seeming holy maiden riding upon a strong black horse, and asked him, had he seen pass that way a knight led, bound, and beaten with thorns by two others? Yea, truly, such a one I saw, said the man, but he is dead, and lo, his body is hard by in a bush. Oh. Then he showed him the newly slain body lying in a thick bush, which seemed indeed to be Sir Lionel. Then made Sir Bors such mourning and sorrow that by and by he fell into a swoon upon the ground, and when he came to himself again, he took the body in his arms, and put it on his horse's saddle, and bore it to a chapel hard by, and would have buried it. But when he made the sign of the cross, he heard a full great noise and cry, as though all the fiends of hell had been about him, and suddenly the body and the chapel and the old man vanished all away. Then he knew that it was the devil who had thus beguiled him, that his brother yet lived. What is going on? Was it a test to see if he would do his nightly duty over his bro? That he would pick hoe before bro? I thought that was what we're not supposed to do. Ain't no hoe, only bro. Then held he up his hands to heaven, and thanked God for his own escape from hurt, and rode onwards. And anon, as he passed by an hermitage in a forest, he saw his brother sitting armed by the door. And when he saw him, he was filled with joy, and lightened from his horse, and ran to him, and said, Fair brother, when came ye hither? But Sir Lionel answered with an angry face, What vain words be these? When for you I might have been slain, did ye not see me bound and led away to death, and left me in that peril to go scouring a gentlewoman, the like whereof no brother ever yet hath done? Now for thy false misdeed I do defy thee, and ensure thee speedy death. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Strong, independent black horse don't need no man. Then Sir Bors prayed his brother to abdicate his anger, and said, Fair brother, remember the love that should be between us. I know I left you to die, but remember that you love me, right? Bors, that is not how you're supposed to answer this. But Sir Lionel would not hear, and prepared to fight, and mounted his horse, and came before him, crying, Sir Bors, keep thee from me, for I shall do to thee as a felon and a traitor. Therefore start upon thy horse, for if thou wilt not, I will run upon thee as thou standest. Guys, can we not talk about this for a hot minute? Do you think Galahad's gonna come swooping? Place your bets. But for all his words, Sir Bors would not defend himself against his brother, and anon the fiend stirred up Sir Lionel to such a rage. Oh, there's a demon behind this again. Okay, we haven't really had any words of demons until now, and then suddenly they're kind of everywhere. That he rushed over him and overthrew him with his horse's hooves, so that he lay swooning on the ground. Then would he have rent off his helm and slain him, but the hermit of that place ran out, and prayed him to forbear, and shielded Bors with his body. Then Sir Lionel cried out, "Now God so help me, Sir Priest, but I shall slay thee, else thou depart, and him too after thee." And when the good man utterly refused to leave Sir Bors, he smote him on the head until he died. And then he took his brother by the helm and unlaced it, to have stricken off his head, so that he would have done, but suddenly was pulled off backwards by a knight of the Round Table, who, by the will of heaven, was passing by that place. Not Sir Galahad, Sir Colgreevance by name. "Sir Lionel," he cried, "will ye slay your brother, one of the best knights of all the world, that ought no man to suffer?" "Why," said Sir Lionel, "will ye hinder me and meddle in this strife? Beware lest I slay both ye at thee and him." And when Sir Colgreevance refused to let him be, Sir Lionel defied him, and gave him a great stroke through the helmet, whereat Sir Colgreevance drew his sword and smote again right manfully. And so long they fought together that Sir Bors awoke from his swoon, and tried to rise and part them, but had no strength to stand upon his feet. Anon Sir Colgreevance saw him, and cried out to him for help, for now Sir Lionel had nigh defeated him. When Sir Bors heard that, he struggled to his feet, and put on his helmet, and took his sword. But before he could come to him, Sir Lionel had smitten off Sir Colgreevance's helm, and thrown him to the earth, and slain him. Then turned he to his brother, as a man possessed by fiends, and gave him such a stroke as bent him nearly double. But still Sir Bors prayed him, for God's sake, to quit that battle, for if it befall us that we either slew the other, we should die for care of that sin. "I will never spare thee if I master thee," cried out Sir Lionel. And then Sir Bors drew his sword, all weeping, and said, "Now, God have mercy on me, though I defend my life against my brother." With that he lifted up his sword to strike, but suddenly he heard a mighty voice, "Put up thy sword, Sir Bors, and flee, or thou shalt surely slay him." And then there fell upon them both a fiery cloud, which flamed and burned their shields, and they fell to the earth in sore dread. What is going on here? These stories have not been like so supernatural until now. There's been a bit like a magic shenanigans, but like this is off the charts. Anon Sir Bors rose to his feet, and saw that Sir Lionel had taken no harm. Then came the voice again, and said, "Sir Bors, go hence, and leave thy brother, and ride thou forward to the sea, for there Sir Percival abideth thee." Then he said to his brother, "Brother, forgive me all my trespass against thee." And Sir Lionel answered, "God forgive it thee as I do." Then he departed, and rode to the sea, and on the strand he found a ship all covered with white samite, and as soon as he had entered thereinto, it put forth from the shore, and in the midst of the ship there stood an armed knight, who he knew to be Sir Percival. Then they rejoiced greatly over each other, and said, "We lack nothing now but the good knight Sir Galahad." Now when Sir Galahad had rescued Sir Percival from the 20 knights, he rode into a vast forest, and after many days it befell that he came to a castle whereat was a tournament, and the knights of the castle were put to the worse, which, when he saw, he set his spear in rest and ran to help them, and smote down many of their adversaries. And, as it chanced, Sir Gawain was among the strange knights. And when he saw the white shield with the red cross, he knew it was Sir Galahad, and proffered to joust with him. So they encountered, and having broken their spears, they drew their swords. And Sir Galahad smote Gawain so sorely on the helm that he clove it through, and struck on slanting to the earth, carving the horse's shoulder in twain, and Sir Gawain fell to the earth. Then Sir Galahad beat back all those who warred against the castle, yet would he not wait for thanks, but rode away that no man might know. Shows up, basically murders Gawain, and leaves. God's boy was too busy to purify the entire realm of death, so after smoting the population of hell, give another 10 minutes, they get past the army of maidens begging for his kiss. It's so silly. So silly. This is one of the silliest I've ever read. And he rested that night at a hermitage, and when he was asleep, he heard a knocking at the door. So he rose and found a damsel there, who said, Sir Galahad, I will that ye arm you, and mount upon your horse, and follow me, for I will show you within these 3 days the highest adventure that any knight saw. Anon Sir Galahad armed him, and took his horse, and commended himself to God, and bade the gentlewoman go, and he followed where she liked. So they rode onwards to the sea as fast as their horses might gallop, and at night they came to a castle in a valley, enclosed by running water, and by strong and high walls, whereinto they entered and had great cheer, for the lady of the castle was the damsel's mistress. And when he was unarmed, the damsel said to her lady, Madam, shall we abide here this night? Nay, said she, but only until he hath dined and slept a little. So he ate and slept a while, till the maid called him and armed him by torchlight. And when he had saluted the lady of the castle, the damsel and Sir Galahad rode on. Anon they came to the seaside, and lo, a ship wherein Sir Percival and Sir Bors abode by the shore. And then they cried, Welcome, Sir Galahad, for we have awaited thee long, even though you really haven't done anything. You just kind of saved Sir Percy that once, and then you've just been riding around with a bitch this whole time. I don't even know what's going on. Galahad gets bitches, that's what we know. Then they rejoiced to see each other, and told of all their adventures and temptations. And the damsel went into the ship with them, and spake to Sir Percival. Sir Percival, know ye not who I am? And he replied, Nay, certainly I know thee not. Then said she, I am thy sister, daughter of King Pellinore, and I am sent to help thee and these knights, thy fellows, to achieve the quest which ye all follow. So Sir Percival rejoiced to see his sister, and they departed from the shore, and after a while they came upon a whirlpool, where the ship could not live. Then saw they another greater ship hard by, and went towards it, but saw neither man nor woman therein, and on the end of it the words written, Thou who shall enter me, beware, that thou be in steadfast belief, for I am faith, and if thou doubtest, I cannot help thee. Then were they all adread, but commending themselves to God, they entered. That's where they call him Sir Mo Bitches Galahad. You can't redact messages from me. I'll see them anyway. As soon as they were on board, they saw a fair bed, whereupon lay a crown of silk, and on the foot was a fair and rich sword, drawn from its scabbard half a foot and more. The pommel was of precious stones of many colours, every colour having different virtue, and the scales of the half were of 2 ribs of different beasts. The one was born of a serpent from Caledon forest, named the Serpent of the Fiend, and its virtue saveth all men who hold it from weariness. And the other was a fish from the haunteth of floods of Euphrates, named Ertanax, and its virtue causeth whoever holding it to forget all other things, weareth of joy or pain, save the thing he seeth before him. In the name of God, said Sir Percival, I shall essay to handle this sword, and set his hand onto it, but could not grasp it. By my faith, he said, now I have failed. Finally spelled him correctly. Galahad. Finally spelled Galahad in his benches correctly. Sir Bors set his hand to it, and also failed. So this is Galahad's other super special amazing sword. Then came Sir Galahad, and swore the letters written as red as blood. None shall draw me forth, save the hardiest of all men, but he that draweth me shall never be shamed or wounded to death. By my faith, said Sir Galahad, I would draw it forth, but dare not try. Ye may try safely. Ye may try safely, said the gentlewoman, Sir Percival's sister, who still doesn't have a name. For be ye well assured, the drawing of this sword is forbidden to all but you. For this was the sword of David, king of Israel, and Solomon, his son, made for it his marvellous pommel, and this wondrous sheath, and laid it on this bed, till thou shouldest come and take it up. And though before thee some have dared to raise it, yet have they all been maimed or wounded from their daring. This is the Sword of Strange Hanging. I was wondering which one was technically that sword, because I thought it was the other sword because it did have strange hanging originally, but this is the one. This is the one. Where, said Sir Galahad, shall we find a girdle for it? Fair sir, said she, dismay you not. And therewithin took out a box of girdle, nobly wrought with golden thread, set full of precious stones, and with a rich gold buckle. This girdle, lords, said she, is made from the most part of mine own hair, which while I was yet in the world, I was loved full well. But when I knew that this adventure was ordained me, I cut off and wove as ye see now. Then they all prayed Sir Galahad to take the sword, and so anon he gripped it, and gripped it in his fingers, and the maiden girt it round his waist, saying, Now reck I not, though I die. What? Now reck I not, though I die, for I have made thee the worthiest knight of all the world. Fair damsel, said Sir Galahad, ye have done so much that I shall be your knight for all the days of my life. Then the ship sailed a great way on the sea, and brought them to land near the castle of Cartelos, where they were landed came a squire and asked them, "Be ye of King Arthur's court?" "We are," say they. Sort of strange hangings. In the evil hour are ye come," said he, and went back swiftly to the castle. Within a while they heard a great horn blow, and saw a multitude of well-armed knights come forth, who bade them yield or die. At that they ran together, and Sir Percival smote one to the earth, and mounted his horse, and so likewise did Sir Bors and Sir Galahad, and soon they routed all their enemies, and alighted on foot, and with their swords slew them downright, and entered into the castle. What an odd name for a sword. Does it come with a noose? It doesn't. It gotta get that strange hanging, otherwise it's not even a sword. When they came there forth, a priest, whom Sir Galahad kneeled, said, "In sooth, good father, I repent me of this slaughter, but we were first assailed, or else it had not been." "Repent ye not," said the good man, "for if ye lived as long as the world lasted, ye could do no better deed, for these were all the felon sons of a good knight, Earl Hernox, whom they had thrown into a dungeon, and in his name have slain priests and clerks, and beat down chapels far and near." Then Sir Galahad prayed the priest to bring him the earl, who, when Sir Galahad cried out, "Long have I awaited for thy coming, and now I pray thee hold me in thy arms, and I may die." Oh, it's the old man! I forgot, it's the old man. It's the old man who's gonna die, because Galahad's gonna give him a smooch. Mwah! Kiss of death. And therewithin Sir Galahad had taken him in his arms, his soul departed from his body. Then came a voice in the hearing of them all, "Depart now, Sir Galahad, and go quickly to the maimed king, for he hath long abided to receive health from thy hand." That was an odd name for a sword. Oh, sorry, I just read that. I thought that was another chat. So the three knights departed, and Sir Percival's sister came with them, and came to a vast forest, and saw before them a white hart, exceedingly fair, led by 4 lions. Marvelling greatly at that sight, they followed. Anon they came to a hermitage, and a chapel whereunto the hart entered, and the lions with it. And the priest offered mass, and presently they saw the hart change into the figure of a man, most sweetly and comely to behold. And the 4 lions also changed, and became a man, an eagle, a lion, and So you're saying one of the lions turned into a lion? Yes, the 4 lions changed form, except for that one guy who hadn't figured out how to do it yet. And suddenly all those 5 figures vanished without a sound. Then the knights marvelled greatly, and fell upon their knees where they rode, and prayed the priest to tell them what the sight might mean. "What saw ye, sirs?" said he, "for I saw nothing." Then they told him. "Ah, lord," said he, "ye are full welcome. Now know I well ye be the knights who shall achieve the Sangreal, for unto them alone such mysteries are revealed. The hart ye saw, one above all men, white without blemish, and the 4 lions with him." Rude. My goodness, this line is made of lines. Are the 4 evangelicals, It's a bit, be right back. I gotta go on a BRB. I return. When they heard that, they heartily rejoiced, and thanking the priest departed. Anon, as they passed by a certain castle, an armed knight suddenly came after them, and cried out to the damsel, "By the holy cross, ye shall not go till ye have yielded to the custom of this castle." "Let her go," said Sir Percival, "for a maiden whensoever she cometh is free." "Whatever maiden passeth here," said the knight, "must give a dishful of her blood from her right arm." "It is a foul and shameful custom," said Sir Galahad, and both his fellows, "and sooner will we die than let this maiden yield hitherto." "Then shall ye die," replied the knight. As he spake, there came out from the gate hard by 10 or 12 more, and encountered with them, running upon them vehemently with a great cry. But the 3 knights withstood them, and set their hands to their swords, and beat them down and slew them. And that came forth a company of threescore knights, all armed. "Fair lords," said Galahad, "have mercy on yourselves, and keep from us." Like a whole army comes out. You're outnumbered, and Galahad goes, "You'll survive this if you leave." Nay, fair lords, they answered, rather be advised of us, and yield ye to our custom. It is an idle word, said Galahad. In vain ye speak it. Well, said they, will ye die? Be not come hitherto as yet. Let me translate that. Galahad be like, let me give you some advice. Why don't you just leave? You'll survive more longer that way. And they'd be like, we clearly outnumber you. You should leave. You should just, yield to it. It's just a bit of blood. It's fine. And Galahad's like, nah, that's wasting your words. We will kill you. And I said, so will you die for this? It's like, no. No, I won't. You will. Replied Sir Galahad. Then they fell upon each other, and Sir Galahad drew forth his sword, and smote on the right hand and on the left, and slew so mightily that all who saw him thought he was a monster, and no earthly man. And both his comrades helped him well, and so they held the field against that multitude till it was right. Then came by a good knight forward from the enemy, and said, Fair knights, abide with us tonight, and be right welcome, for the faith of our bodies, as we are true knights. Tomorrow ye shall rise unharmed, and meanwhile may ye, of our own accord, accept the custom of the castle, when ye know it better. So they entered, and alighted, and made great cheer. Anon they asked whence that custom came. The lady of this castle is a leper, said they, and can be no way cured, save by the blood of a pure virgin, and a king's daughter. Therefore, to save her life, we her servants bound to stay every maiden that passeth by, and try her blood, may not cure her mistress. Then said the damsel, Take ye my blood, as much as ye will, if it may avail your lady. So after all that, they're just like, oh, okay, that's a good reason, fair enough. And though the three knights urged her not to put her life in that great peril, she replied, If I die to heal another's body, then I shall get hearth to my soul, and would not be persuaded to refuse. So on the morrow she was brought to the sick lady, and her arm was bared. So they're not gonna just bleed her, it's just gonna be vampire nonsense. What the fuck? That's how you get leprosy! Good lord. That was a sentence I never thought I'd say on stream. That's how you get leprosy. Bared her arm, and a vein was therefore opened, and a dish filled with her blood. Okay, so why was she brought to the sick lady, then bled? That's how you get leprosy. Then the sick lady was anointed therewith, and anon she was whole of her malady. With that, Sir Percival's sister lifted up her hand, and blessing her, saying, Madam, I come to my death to make you whole. For God's love, pray for me. Thus she fell down in a swoon. Oh my! After massacring half the knights of the castle. Oh, that's a pretty good reason. I guess we're cool. Exactly. They should have led with that and skipped the field of courses in the yard. Yeah. Bernie's catchphrase, is that how you get leprosy? Then Sir Galahad, Sir Percival, and Sir Bors started to lift her up and staunch her blood, but she had lost too much to live. So when she came to herself, and said to Sir Percival, Fair brother, I must die for healing this lady. Now, I pray thee, bury me not here, but when I am dead, put me in a boat at the next haven, and let me float at venture on sea,
And when ye come to the city of Saraz, to achieve the Sangreal, shall ye find me waiting by a tower, and there I pray thee bury me, for there shall Sir Galahad and ye also be laid.
Thus, having said, she died. Then Sir Percival wrote all the story of her life, even though he really only just met her like a day ago or whatever, and put it in her right hand, and so laid her in a barge, and covered her with silk, and the wind arising drove the barge from the land, and all the knights stood watching till it was out of sight.
And then she expired.
Knocker-chan! Well, I got span. It was normal size Phantom's fault. Who spammed me last? Yeah. Ah! Well, now I'm just sideways. Shit happens. Yeah. How is VR chat right now? VR chat went down as I was setting up stream. It's still down. It's still exploding as we speak. So we had to do 2D. We had to go a little bit classic with today's stream.
But that's okay.
I feel like I've read more because I'm not as distracted by all the things in VR chat. It wasn't our fault. What, do you not like the VR chat streams? Did you guys like torment the VR chat servers so it blew up? Yeah, I missed my weekly meetup from the downtime. Oh, that's sad. VR chat was scared. That's poopy. I hope you managed to do a meetup maybe on Discord or something instead. It's not as fun though outside of VR chat. Anon, where was I up to? Out of sight. Anon they returned to the castle, and forthwith fell a sudden tempest of thunder and lightning and rain, as if the earth were broken up, and half the castle was thrown down. Then came a voice to the three knights, which said, "Depart ye now asunder, till ye meet again where the maimed king is lying." So they parted and rode divers ways. Now after Sir Lancelot had left the hermit, he rode long while, till he knew not whither to turn, and so he lay down to sleep, if haply he might dream whither to go. And in his sleep a vision came to him, saying, "Lancelot, rise up, and take thine armour, and enter the first ship that thou shalt find." Nah, it's karaoke next week, so it's fine. Wonderful! Meet up in Second Life! Oh my god, Second Life. No. I say that, I don't think I got in. I tried to get into Second Life when I was younger, but I just could not. I was just like, how, these are real people. I'm so confused. How does this work? I don't understand.
She's not a smart cookie sometimes. And Second Life confused me.
I'm not good at playing with other people. When he awoke, he obeyed the vision, and rode till he came to the sea shore, and found there a ship without sails or oars. And as soon as he was in it, he smelt the sweetest savour he had ever known. It seemed filled with all things he could think of or desire. And looking round, he saw a fair bed, and thereon a gentlewoman lying dead, who was Sir Percival's sister. And as Sir Lancelot looked on her, he spied the writing in her right hand, and taking it, he read therein her story. And more than a month thereafter he abode in that ship, and was nourished by the grace of heaven, as Israel was fed with manna in the desert.
VR chat isn't like Second Life, though. I mean, VR chat, I don't have to talk to people. I know it has the word chat at the end of it, but I haven't actually played with strangers on it ever. Public instances? Nah. And on a certain night he went ashore to pass the time, for he was somewhat weary in listening. He heard a horse come towards him, from which a knight alighted and went up to the ship, who, when he saw Sir Lancelot, said, "Fair sir, be ye right welcome to mine eyes, for I am thy son Galahad, and long time I have sought for thee." With that he kneeled and asked his blessing, for he took off his helm and kissed him, and the great joy there was between them, no tongue can I should hope there's no tongue. That's father and son. I really should hope there's no tongue. Did they just use a marker and write "she walked with us, then died"? The entire story. I mean, Percival didn't even know that it was his sister until she told him in this. So it's like they were together for maybe like a week or two. So yeah, basically that was entirely it. And then, for half a year, they dwelt together in the ship, and served God and night and day with all their powers, and went to many unknown islands where none but wild beasts haunted, and there found many strange and perilous adventures. But upon a time they came to the edge of a forest, before a cross of stone, and saw a knight armed in all white, leading a white horse. Then the knight saluted them, and said to Galahad, "Ye have been long time enough with your father. Now therefore leave him, and ride this horse till ye achieve the holy quest." Then went Sir Galahad to his father, and kissed him full courteously, and said, "Fair father, I know not when I shall see thee again." And as he took his horse, his voice spake in the hearing, "Ye shall meet no more in this life." "Now, my son, Sir Galahad," said Sir Lancelot, "since we must so part, and see each other never more, I pray the High Father of Heaven to preserve both you and me." Then they bade farewell, and Sir Galahad entered the forest, and Sir Lancelot returned to the ship. And the wind rose and drove him more than a month through the sea, whereby he slept but little, yet ever prayed that he might see the Sangreal. So it befell upon a certain midnight, the moon shining clear, he came before a fair and rich castle, whereof the postern gate was open toward the sea, having no keeper save 2 lions. There's a lot of lions suddenly. Lions, demons. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been in a lot of the other stories until now. Strange things are afoot. Having no keepers but 2 lions in the entry, anon Sir Lancelot heard a voice, "Leave now thy ship, and go within the castle, and thou shalt see a part of thy desire." When he armed and went towards the gates, and coming to the lions, he drew out his sword, but suddenly a dwarf rushed out and smote him on the arm, and so he dropped his sword, and heard again the voice, "O man of evil faith and poor belief, wherefore trusted thou thine arms above thy maker?" So is this god physically speaking to the knights now? Then he put up his sword, and signed the cross upon his forehead, and so passed by the lions without hurt. And going in, he found a chamber with a shut door, which in vain he tried to open, and listening thereat, he heard a voice within, which sang so sweetly that it seemed no earthly thing. They be smoting. So much smoting. No joy and honour be to the Father of Heaven. When he kneeled down at the door, for he knew well the Sangreal was there within, anon the door was opened without hands, and forthwith came there out so great a splendour, as if all the torches of the world had been alight together. But when he would have entered in, a voice forbade him, wherefore he drew back and looked, standing up upon the threshold of the door, and there he saw a table of silver, and the holy vessel covered with red samite, and many angels around it holding burning candles, and a cross, and all the ornaments of the altar. Then a priest stood up and offered mass, and when he took the vessel up, he seemed to sink beneath that burden. At that Sir Lancelot cried, O father, take it not for sin, that I go in to help the priest, who hath much need thereof. So saying, he went in, and when he came towards the table, he felt a breath of fire which issued out therefrom, and smote him to the ground, so that he had no power to rise. Then felt he many hands about him, which took him up, and laid him down outside the chapel door. There he lay in a swoon, although that night, and on the morrow, certain people found him senseless, and bore him to inner chamber, and laid him on the bed, and there he rested, living, but moving no limbs, 24 days and nights. Hi, howdy, howdy. I am horizontal. I've been span a lot today. King Arthur at best got a magic sword, God's own special boy, just pages of a D&D monster guide taped to pages of half covered in coffee stains. Post-it note saying deadline today. God's special boy. Yeah, he doesn't really get any, like, character stuff, though. But then did Arthur really? I feel like Galahad's whole bit is just like, Galahad is very cool and the bestest knight in all the world. And look at him get all this cool stuff because he just exists as the bestest knight in all the world. Not because of any particular thing. Look at all the cool stuff he could do. Ugh. Ah! Oh Lord, she's been. Gotta be sick if you keep doing that. Where was I? No power to rise, 20-something days, I believe. 24 days and nights. And on the 25th day he opened his eyes and saw those standing round, and said, Why have ye waked me? For I have seen marvels that no tongue can tell, and more than any heart can think. Almost normal, not quite normal. And then he asked where he was, and they told him, in the castle of Carbunk. Tell your lord, King Pelles, he said, that I am Sir Lancelot. At that they marvelled greatly, and told their lord, Drake. And told their lord it was Sir Lancelot, who had lain there so long, like the lazy bum that he is. Then Sir Pelles, wondrous glad, went to see him, and prayed him to abide there for a season. But Sir Lancelot said, I know well that I have now seen as much as mine eyes may behold the Sangreal, wherefore I will return to my own country. So he took leave of King Pelles and departed towards Logris. Now after Sir Galahad parted from Sir Lancelot, he rode many days till he came to the monastery where the blind King Everlake lay, whom Sir Percival had seen. And on the morrow, when he had heard mass, Sir Galahad desirous to see the king, who cried out, Welcome, Sir Galahad, servant of the Lord!
Long have I abided thy coming. Take me now in thine arms, and may I die in peace. Alright, calm down. Calm down. There's a bit of an age gap here, but sure, I guess. He sure lances a lot, he do. At that, Sir Galahad embraced him, and when he had so done, the king's eyes were open, and he said, Fair Lord Jesus, suffer me now to come to thee. And anon his soul departed. He just got a really nice hug, and then he died. That's what human contact does to you. Oh, Lancelot, before I die, give me smooches and cuddles. Then they buried him royally, as a king could be, and Sir Galahad went on his way. I have come to slay your king with cuddles and smooches. Is it done? Cool, goodbye. Within a while he came to a chapel in a forest, in a crypt whereof he saw a tomb, which always blazed and burned, and asked the brethren what that might mean. They told him Joseph of Arimathea's son did found this monastery, and the one who wronged him hath lain here these 350 years, and burneth evermore, until that perfect knight who shall achieve the Sangreal doth quench the fire. This feels like he's just like, I've got so many fucking prophecies to do. I am the most prophesized child in all of Britain. I have so much to fucking do. Look at this side quest list. It's absolutely mad. The Jojo of Arimathea, yeah. Then, said he, I pray ye bring me to the tomb. And when he touched the place, immediately the fire was quenched. And a voice came from the graveyard and cried, Thanks be to God who hath purged me of my sin, and draweth me from earthly pains into the joys of paradise. Then Sir Galahad took the body in his arms and bore it to the abbey, and on the morrow put it in the earth before the high altar. Anon he departed from thence and rode 5 days in a great forest, and after that he met Sir Percival, a little further on Sir Bors. When they had told each other of their adventures, they rode together to Castle Carbunc. And there King Pelles gave them hearty welcome, for he knew they should achieve the holy quest. Wait, is this just someone joining FF14 after 10 years of doing the backlog? Absolutely. This is like someone who's managed to achieve like max level doing side quests and is now doing the main plot. As soon as they were come into the castle, a voice cried in the midst of the chamber, Let them who ought not now to sit at the table of the Lord rise and depart hence. Then all save those 3 knights departed. Anon they saw other knights come in with haste, and the halls and doors take their harnesses off, who said to Sir Galahad, Sir, we have tried sore to be with you at this table. Ye be welcome, he said, but whence are ye? So the 3 of them said they were from Gaul, and 3 from Ireland, and 3 from Denmark. Then came forth the likeness of a bishop, with a cross in his hand, and 4 angels stood by him, and a table of silver was come before them, whereupon was set the vessel of the Sangre. I love the Holy Grail kind of just appears when it wants to. It's like, oh, I'm here now. Two bearing burning candles, and the 3rd a towel, and the 4th a spear which bled marvellously. Drops from their 4 fell into a box. He held his left hand, anon the bishop took the wafer up to consecrate it. And at the lifting up, they saw the figure of a child, whose visage was as bright as any fire, which smote itself into the midst of the wafer and vanished, so that all saw the flesh made bread. Thereat the bishop went to Galahad, and kissed him, and bade him go kiss his fellows. Everyone smooch. And said, "Now, servants of the Lord, prepare for food such as none ever yet were fed with since the world began." Hey, Dumpstart, you are a little bit late. You're later than the Grail. The Grail's just turned up. The bishop is kissing people, and the bishop is telling the knights to kiss each other. Kissing was not as much of a romantic thing back then. The quest flag for the Grail spawning finally got triggered. Yes. There's a lot of smooching and hugging in a total heterosexual story. Yeah. Holy mother fudging Grail. With that he vanished, and the knights were filled with a great dread, and prayed devoutly. Then saw they come forth from the holy vessel the vision of a man bleeding all openly, whom they knew well by the tokens of his passion for the Lord himself. At that they fell upon their faces and were dumb. Anon he brought the Holy Grail to them, and spake high words of comfort. And when they drank therefrom, the taste therefore was sweeter than any tongue could tell, or heart desire. Then a voice said to Galahad, "Son, with this blood which drippeth from the spear anoint thou the maimed king, and heal him. And when thou hast this done, depart hence with thy brethren in a ship that ye shall find, and go to the city of Sars, and bear with thee the holy vessel, for it shall no more be seen in the realm of Logris." At that Sir Galahad walked to the bleeding spear, and therefrom anointed his fingers, and went straightway to the maimed King Pallas, and touched his wound. Then suddenly he uprose from his bed as whole a man as ever he was, and praised God passing thankfully with all his heart. Then Sir Galahad, Sir Bors, and Sir Percival departed as they had been told. And when they had ridden 3 days, they came to the sea shore, and found the ship awaiting them. Therein they entered, and saw in the midst of the silver table, and the vessel of the Sangreal, covered with red samite. Then were they passing glad, and made great reverence thereto. And Sir Galahad prayed that now he might leave the world, and pass to God. And presently, while he prayed, a voice said to him, "Galahad, thy prayer is heard, and when thou asketh the death of the body, thou shalt have it, and find the life of thy soul." But while they prayed and slept, the ship sailed on, and when they woke, they saw the city of Sars before them, and the other ship wherein was Sir Percival's sister. Then the 3 knights took up the holy table and the Sangreal, and went into the city, and there, in a chapel, they buried Sir Percival's sister, right and solemnly. Now, at the gate of the town, they saw an old cripple sitting, whom Sir Galahad called to help them bear the weight. "Truly," said the old man, "it is 10 years since I have gone a step without these crutches." "Care ye not," said Sir Galahad, "rise now, and show goodwill." So he essayed to move, and found his limbs as strong as any man's might be, and, running to the table, helped to carry it. Anon there arose a rumour in the city that a cripple had been healed by a certain marvellous strange knights. But the king named Estrance, let's go with that. Estorance, who was a heathen tyrant, when he heard thereof, took Sir Galahad and his fellows, and put them in prison in a deep hole. Therein they abode a great while, but ever the Sangreal was with them, and fed them with marvellous sweet food, so they fainted not, but had all joy and comfort they could wish. I care not if you're crippled, help us, old man. If you help us, you will not be crippled anymore. Yeah, I'll admit this has been the straightest. As much as there's been more smooching than any other one, this has been the straightest chapter so far. But you know what? You know what? We're gonna have to leave them in prison. Because that is the end of today's stream. Thank you everyone for coming to today's stream. I do apologize that it is not a VR chat stream because VR chat is down at the time of this streaming. But hey ho, hopefully it comes back for next week and we can continue our regularly scheduled wandering through places. I am Oi! Fine, we can do this upside down, I guess. Gotta say, solid run for today's stream. Not gonna lie. However, I will be back tomorrow with more trauma. Yeah. More stars and time. Trauma. I don't wanna. I do want it. I really want to see the end of that game, but I don't want it. Hurts. But that is future Bryony's problem. Today's Bryony would like to give you some wonderful news. I uploaded the files for my next audiobook today, so it shouldn't be long now until that's sorted. I'm just waiting for the author now to approve it. Then he needs to upload some cover art, and then it'll need to be like reviewed by Audible, and then we'll have another audiobook, and this audiobook's about 8-9 hours long, so it's even better. It's bigger than the other one. The other one was only 6. This one's like 2 more hours long, so there'll be, I can't do maths, 10. So it's like 14 hours of me reading on Audible once that's out, which is crazy. 6 add 2 is 9. Yeah, that's what I meant. 6, 7, 8. No, you're right. It's 6 up. It's at 3, isn't it? It's at 3. I'm not a mathematician. It's fine. So basically 4 whole streams in one. Pretty much, yeah. Actually, more than that. I mean, the first book is 3 streams worth of content, and the second one, yeah, is 4.5 streams in one, technically. Anyway, this stream does need to end. So please check out Audible. Go search Bryony Rose Smith on Audible. Grab the first book so that you're ready for the second! But until tomorrow, I would like to thank everyone in chat. Thank anyone who looked. Thank anyone who watched the VOD for coming. I hope you enjoyed. And just to say that I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Bryony Rose Smith live in the Vin Library. Goodbye, Bryonicles.